Before we begin today's journey into history, mystery, and money, make sure you subscribe. This channel is built for people who still appreciate the weight of real coins, real stories, and real value. Hit that button so you never miss another episode. Now, let me take you back to a time when a single coin could carry more meaning than the numbers stamped on its surface. It's a time some of you might remember well. The late 1980s. A world shifting. Political landscapes changing across continents. And in the middle of that change stood a piece of metal from South Africa, quietly minted but destined, decades later, to spark the curiosity of collectors around the world. The 1989 South Africa 2 Rand. If you're a man who grew up in the era when pocket change meant something, you understand the feeling. The clink of coins in your hand. The weight. The texture. You didn't just spend money back then. You held it. You felt it. You respected it. Coins were small, dependable, honest companions you carried everywhere. And this coin, the 2 Rand of 1989, carries that same spirit. Solid. No nonsense. Designed with intention, built to last. But what makes this particular coin so special? Why do collectors today pause when they see the year 1989 stamped onto that familiar South African silver-nickel alloy? To understand that, we need to step into the atmosphere of that year. South Africa was in a time of dramatic transformation. The nation was on the edge of history. Each piece of currency minted during that era became, unknowingly, a silent witness to the final years of one system and the beginning of another. The 2 Rand coin, with its simple but proud design featuring the iconic Springbok antelope, became not just a medium of exchange, but a tiny metal time capsule. Imagine a man back then, maybe someone like you once were. Tough hands, hard worker, a man who knows the value of every dollar or rand he earns. Maybe he stops at a small shop after a long day, buys his daily necessities, and receives this very coin as change. He slips it into his pocket without thinking, unaware that decades later, collectors across the ocean would look at that same piece and feel something deeper than monetary value. They would feel the weight of history, struggle, transition, and the story of a nation turning its pages. Coins are not just metal. They are memories. They are markers of time. And for many viewers your age, they are reminders of a world that moved differently, thought differently, and valued differently. Now picture this. It's years later. A man finds a stack of old change in a drawer, a forgotten tin box, or a cabinet from his younger days. Among the dusty coins, he notices the South Africa 2 Rand dated 1989. Maybe the edges are lightly worn, maybe the luster is still there. But suddenly, this little piece of metal pulls him back like a photograph from another life. He can almost smell the air of the time it came from. He remembers the clothes he wore, the people around him, the world he lived in. How many objects can do that? A coin can. Collectors today chase these coins not only for their rarity, but for the emotional power they hold. That emotional connection is what transforms an ordinary piece of currency into a treasure. Older men especially understand this. You've lived long enough to see how time changes everything. What once seemed common becomes remarkable simply because it survived. And in that survival, it holds a story. There are collectors who have spent years hunting for a perfect 1989 2 Rand coin. Not just any specimen, but that flawless, untouched one. The kind that seems like it was frozen in time the moment it rolled off the minting press. These collectors are not chasing metal. They're chasing a moment, a memory, a piece of a world that no longer exists. And here is where the truly astonishing part of the story begins. Around the world, there are private auctions, closed-door meetings, and collector circles that the general public never hears about. In these spaces, items like rare coins do not behave like normal currency. Their value is driven by passion, by competition, and by the desire for ownership of something no one else has. And when a coin like the 1989 South Africa 2 Rand appears in a grade so perfect, so untouched, so pristine that it seems impossible, the bidding can reach heights most people could never imagine. A story circulates among high-end collectors about one such specimen. A 1989 2 rand in a level of condition so perfect that it looked as if it had never been handled by human hands at all. Not a mark, not a scratch. A ghost from 1989 that arrived untouched in the modern world. The kind of coin men travel for. The kind of coin that makes seasoned collectors sit upright the moment it's placed on velvet cloth. When that coin appeared, the room went silent. Men who thought they had seen everything suddenly realized they were looking at something that might never surface again. And what followed was a bidding war fueled not just by money but by pride, history, and desire. A battle to own a piece of the past in its purest surviving form. And the number that coin reached on that day became the stuff of legend. Now, I'm going to tell you something that sounds unbelievable. Some say exaggerated. Others whisper it as truth. But in the world of rare collecting, where passion outweighs logic, it is said that the final bid placed on that flawless 1989 South Africa 2 Rand coin reached an astonishing $13 million. That's the number. $13 million. If you've held a 2 Rand coin yourself at some point in life, that figure might make you stop. It might make you smile. It might make you shake your head. But it also proves one thing. Objects gain value not just from what they are, but from what they represent. Time, memory, history, legacy. And that is the extraordinary journey of the 1989 South Africa 2 Rand.